College basketball is here. It has been here for a week now, but for Wichita State and Wichita State fans, college basketball started last night for Wichita State. Wichita State, a very exciting but nerve-wracking win over Oral Roberts 85-80. Wichita State had to play with 8 players last night. 8 players, a new head coach, interim head coach Isaac Brown got his first win as a Wichita State Shocker. Tyson Etienne was just a masterful beast in the second half last night. He scored 21 of his 26 points in the second half for Wichita State, leading them to a 24-8 run to end the game. Wichita State was down by 8 points late in this game, about 10 minutes to go in the second half. So it was kind of to the point, what are these 8 players going to do? Are they going to step up? They've been in this situation before. For an interim head coach, this was a true game, a test game for Isaac Brown. And he came out and he proved that these guys can win these close games. Now Sunday, it's going to be a whole different story. Missouri beat Oral Roberts by 30, and last night beat number 21 in the nation, Oregon, by 8 points. So, Adam, this game Sunday could be pretty ugly for Wichita State if they don't get all their players back.
Oh, it could be, but that's why you play the game. And just because you beat a team by 30 one day and the other team beat that same team by 8, guess what? You both won. So I think it'll be a good competitive game.
Well, and we have to realize that Wichita State hasn't played a game yet, and Oral Roberts played 2 games against 2 good opponents. So that makes a big difference when your guys haven't played a game and you got 5 guys on the COVID list.
Right. And, you're still getting those new pieces to gel, even though you played 8. And anyway, it's going to be a fun test for y'all against Missouri. That's for sure.
Well, and it's nice to see that UConn grad transfer, Alterique Gilbert, man. Finally, Wichita State has a true point guard. They have not had a true point guard since the Fred VanVleet, Ron Baker era. And it's been a crap show. I mean, not a crap show, but it's been a struggle not having a true point guard. And I think this year with Gilbert here, he proved that when he's in the game, this team can score points. Because when he was out of the game is when Oral Roberts made their run, got the lead. And then when he came back in, that's when Wichita State got the lead back. So it's just a matter of having that true point guard, a guy to run the game, to run the show, to get the offense going. Wichita State just didn't have that the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah. And it's always fun to have a good point guard, one to facilitate, but then also one to take over if need be. And, give Greg Marshall credit for bringing that guy to Wichita State. And I think he's going to be a good one to watch here on out.
Kind of makes me wonder if Greg Marshall even watched the game last night, or if he said, screw the Shockers and went out and drank. But who knows? He's still getting paid. He's still rich. He don't care. Now,
yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure he watched it.
I'm sure he did.
I mean,
there is one game I want to get to that was just embarrassing for college basketball last night. And this was between Illinois State and Division III Greensburg, I believe is who it was. Greenville. The final score, and yes, you're hearing this right, 177-108 in favor of Illinois State. Now, Illinois State 70 for 81 shooting, 86.4%, 29 for 42 from the free throw line. These had to be dunks or layups because no team shoots 87% from the field. I mean, I don't care if you're playing Division III, but the fact that they gave up 108 points to a Division III opponent, even though that opponent took 108 shots. But, I mean, that's just embarrassing for college basketball to see a score like that.
Yeah, and sometimes I wonder why a Division I team is scheduling a Division III for a regular season. If it was exhibition, sure. Exactly. But that's kind of funny, though.
And there were
I don't know what's worth.
You know what? Turnovers in this game.
Yeah, but here's the deal. I don't know what's worse. Yeah, I mean their Division 3 gave up 177, sure, but you allowed a Division 3 team to score over 100 points.
Exactly.
Sorry.
And at least Mercer, then when they scored 140, they only gave up 39 points, so they won by
There you
100
go.
points yesterday. I mean, this is, it's 2020. These teams are having to schedule these Division
Mhm.
two, Division three teams just to get games on their schedule because a lot of them got canceled to start the season. So I
Yeah.
mean, it's going to be what it is. But I want to get to what the hell is Shaka Smart doing growing his hair out? Can we just get
He,
to that? I mean, I literally thought this guy couldn't grow hair. I never knew he shaved his head this whole time.
I ain't gonna lie, I haven't seen Shaka Smart or Texas play yet. I've been doing some other stuff.
Texas, I'm not gonna lie, he's got a damn good team this year. After they knocked off North Carolina last night for that Maui championship,
Yeah.
4-0 now. They beat two ranked teams. That's a damn good team in Texas that could possibly fight with Baylor for the Big 12 title. So I don't see
Yeah.
KU winning the Big 12 this year.
I don't see KU winning the Big 12, but they'll be
They'll
competitive.
be top three for sure.
Yeah. KU's problem was real evident against Gonzaga. Just,
I just
I
don't
don't know
think
if it
they have the
was
big. They don't have the big inside game like they usually do.
right. They don't, and their guards just absolutely played terrible. I don't know if it's because they're still young or what, but you know what? Bill Self will get them going because he always does halfway through the
Hey,
season
I'm just
or just
happy
before.
Bill Self and KU knocked off cheating Calipari the other night.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that one, and
Any non-Kentucky fans that ever root for Kentucky, no matter who they play,
yeah,
shame on you. You should not root for Kentucky and that head coach.
I hear you.
I mean, it's just, yeah. But I mean, there's been some exciting games in college basketball. I mean, Florida got a scare from Army University. Florida was favored by 23. They only won by 7. So,
Right. And
um,
don't forget, Richmond also knocked off
Richmond,
Kentucky.
yeah.
You
And
know,
yeah.
they
So,
had a spider problem.
too
Old
many
Rupp
spiders.
Arena needed some raid.
And then West Virginia last night gave Gonzaga a scare. They're the first team to hold Gonzaga under 90 points. So that says something because that offense is just, I mean, I was about to say,
Yeah.
but that's not the right word. That offense is just downright outrageous. I mean, these guys are going to average 90 points a game this year in their
Oh
conference.
yeah.
Might even average 97 in their conference.
Yeah, and one of their best players, I forgot who it was.
Jalen Suggs, he got hurt last night.
Yeah, he got hurt. And I don't know, did he come back in?
Yeah, he came back in late in the game when
Okay,
they
good.
went on that run to take the lead back.
Yeah. So
So
hopefully it's just nothing, obviously nothing too serious. But
you got to give it to Huggy Bear. Made that game
yeah,
close.
he did. And Huggy Bear is always known for his defense.
Yeah.
And so, to keep that team under 100 points was pretty good. And
Now, let's get to your Arizona Wildcats. How do they look this year?
well, I call them Passport University. And let me see here. I have the box score up from a couple days ago. They played Grambling State. They won by like 20. But it's like new pieces, number one. And number two, it's Grambling State. So it is what
Hey,
it is.
you won by 20. If you're favored by 19, that's a victory, right? But if you're favored by
Yes,
25, you said that's not a victory.
that's true. That is true. But you know what? We've got some players. What I'm excited about with this team, kind of, is they don't have that quote unquote star, that 5-star recruit that came in. So it's basically just like I'm not going to say scrubs because they're not scrubs, but it's unknown players who have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Especially in this coronavirus day and age. We were supposed to play Colorado yesterday, but it got canceled because Colorado can't keep its players healthy for some reason. And so we're trying to scramble and get, teams into play. And I wish we could play Wichita State. I really do, because we're desperate to play people. So
Yeah.
we finally rescheduled, not a university, excuse me, NAU, Northern Arizona. And, But if, by chance, I really wish we could play Wichita State. That'd be a fun one.
It would be a
'Cause
fun
I'm
game.
tired of playing NAU and some of these other just
Now, I
scrub
want to I don't know if you had the chance to watch that Baylor Illinois game last night because that was a late game. It started at 9 o'clock.
parts of it.
But that Mark Vital kid for Baylor is just an absolute beast. I mean, that is a big boy. He's going to cause problem in the Big 12. I mean, he only had 6 points, but his
Yeah.
defense just shut that inside game down for Illinois last night.
Right, and that's Baylor's game is defense. And I mean, don't take me wrong, they got players that can put the ball in the hole, but really, it's all about rebounding and defense for Baylor.
And I don't want to
If
hear because I remember a couple years ago people said Scott Drew is not the man in Baylor. Well, guess what? Look what he's doing now. Number 2 in the nation.
That is true.
So,
And he's got the players, I believe, that finally buy into his system. I mean, sure, he's had some success with previous teams, and I think most of that's due to the older the player gets, the more confidence they get. But right now, for like the last 2-3 years, it's just been a consistent, doesn't matter who he brings in, they've gelled well, and they're showing it. They showed it last year especially, and this year I believe they'll go very, very far. Will it be Final Four? I mean, it is Scott Drew.
I mean, Final Four,
But,
I'm going to put Gonzaga in there for damn sure.
yeah,
They're going to beat that team in the tournament.
no.
I probably will put Baylor in there because they looked pretty damn good last night.
Yeah. I think their defense is going to carry them and carry them far.
And I hate to say it because I hate Jay Wright, but he always finds a way to get to that Final Four.
Yeah. Yeah, he does. And you know what? The one team that I have on my radar, even though they're highly ranked, but every time they're like highly ranked, they always have fizzled out the last like 5 years, and that's Michigan State.
I was getting ready to say, I knew who you were talking about.
Yep. So that's another one to keep an eye on.
But it's crazy, though, because that year that everybody thought they'd go to the NIT and came in as a 10 seed, they went to the Final Four. I just think Tom Izzo knows how to coach in the postseason.
Yeah, he does. I'll give him that.
I'll take Bill Self during the regular season and Tom Izzo during the postseason. Those are my 2 head coaches for the regular and postseason right there.
Yep.
But,
dude, yep. Can't complain with that.
Yeah, so, I mean, it is what it is. Gonzaga Baylor Saturday at 12 o'clock. If nobody watches that game, I mean, that's a game to watch right there.
Yeah, and I think the final score will probably be about somewhere. The team that loses will be in the high 70s, and the team that wins low 80s, mid 80s.
Gonzaga favored by 4.5 according to CBS or ESPN. Yeah. So, I mean, that's going to.
I mean,
I'm going to glued to my TV.
Yeah, no, and it's a game I hope I can watch too, and it's going to be a fun defensive battle, honestly. If they can control their guard play, that's Baylor controlling Gonzaga's guard play. Yes, they have some great inside players, but it's mainly control.
I like to see Mark Vital shut down Drew Timme.
Yeah, there you go. That could happen. That very well could happen.
You can hold down Timme to under 20 points. That'll be a success for Baylor. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, most definitely. So it'll be an interesting game to watch. That's for sure.
Here's my thing. If you added, I forgot his name. Wichita State played him in the final or in the 2013. What was the long-haired guy's name?
Olynyk.
If you added him to this team, oh my.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. It's just you got to give credit to Mark Few because I mean, I think he's arguably the best college basketball coach in America.
And he's underrated. He doesn't get enough credit.
He is underrated. It's Gonzaga. I mean, we're not talking about Arizona, Duke, Kentucky, North Carolina, some of these other big schools who automatically get like the 5-star recruits or the main recruits. But Mark Few has really built his program from the ground up.
Now, here's the real question. When, or God bless, if Coach K ever retires before he dies, do you see Mark Few going to Duke?
No. Not at all. Because to be perfectly honest with you, the best situation for him for a big program jump would have been Arizona
Yeah.
when Lute Olson retired. And I really wanted Arizona to go after him. I think they even asked him, believe it or not. I think they just called him up and he said, no, I just love Gonzaga and I just want to be here. And so, kudos to him. Could the jump happen? Sure. I mean, money could talk, but honestly, if he turned down Arizona, and I'm not saying Arizona's the best program in the nation. I don't need people like that to tell me otherwise. It was a stepping stone for him. And Arizona in the Pac-12 has the crowd, whether we suck or we're the best in the West, we still sell out our games, unlike UCLA and all these
Oh,
other
yeah.
wannabe programs, you know. And anyway, it would have been a good fit for him. He turned it down. And I honestly don't see him leaving the West Coast and going clear across the country for a Duke or North Carolina. I just don't. So,
Yeah. So, I mean, there's one thing I want to get to, Wichita State related. Eric Stevenson left Wichita State because of playing time, didn't like the whole Greg Marshall scandal either. So, that's why he left. His first two games, 14 total points, 7 turnovers, 30% shooting, and 2 blowouts for Washington. So he could have been back here at Wichita State with a good team. Instead, he wants to go to a Pac-12 team that's just going to get slaughtered in the Pac-12 this year. So,
well, and I'm not a fan of Washington, number one, but I had high hopes for that coach because I thought maybe he could turn them around. And, for like his first 2 seasons, he did. But when you have 2 lottery picks per se, and just this last year draft, and you were in last place, I mean, I get you lost your point guard, but really one player should not be making your team, especially when you have the other 2 guys who got drafted just this past year on the team. I mean, I thought I was disappointed in them that they came in 12th place. I thought that was absolutely ridiculous. And, I don't see Hopkins staying much longer at Washington unless he can turn it around, but I give him 2 more years tops. And as far as Stevenson's concerned, I did not like the guy. I thought he was kind of a ball hog for Wichita State. I thought he was a bit of a hothead, and if he was on, he was on. If he was off, he was off. I mean, just like any normal basketball player. And but I was not really that impressed with him or his defensive play. So no wonder he went to Washington, because all they do is play zone, because he kept getting eaten up by a man-to-man. So honestly, good riddance to that dude, and it doesn't shock me that he's not doing as well, because I didn't think he would do much.
Yeah. I just want to say it's proved over the last week because Kentucky, Duke, all these home games, there's no home court advantage this year without fans. I mean, it showed last night in the Wichita State game. Earl Roberts wasn't rattled because there wasn't 10,000 fans screaming. Richmond went into Kentucky because there wasn't 15, 16,000 fans screaming, and just took it to Kentucky. And Duke had a scare last week. I forgot who. Coppin State. Coppin State had the lead kind of midway through that game. So home court advantage is not going to be a thing this year. When you see a team say, oh, they're going to Duke, who cares?
Who cares?
The only people in the stadium are the players. It's like a scrimmage. Just closed scrimmages is what it's pretty much like.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what it is. And, there's no real home court advantage. You just got to create your own momentum somehow and go from there. But, this is just going to be like watching how many games are in the season this year, like 20, 25.
Yeah,
it's just going to be like watching an NCAA tournament every day,
Exactly.
March Madness game. I mean, granted, you did have some fans there for some of the games, but nowhere near. And it's going to be like that. So
exactly. So, all right. Well, we're now a week under college basketball. A lot of big games coming up this weekend. Like we said, Gonzaga, Baylor. That'll be the big game of the weekend. Wichita State brings Missouri into Charles Koch Arena. I'm very worried about that game, but who knows? Maybe Isaac Brown will have these guys ready and surprise me. So that is going to do it for our show today for college basketball. If you're a college basketball fan, go ahead and subscribe to our channel, like our video, comment if you have any comments. Saturday, we will have our fantasy football stardom pick'ems. A lot of changes this week in starting lineups, so be ready for that. And we will see you guys next time.